Hello, and welcome to Rallying the Forge. I'm your host, Sol. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Rallying the Forge. I'm Solimer, and today's episode, we're just going to be kind of touching on a lot of different things, kind of updating things that are going on in the community and some other things within that as well. So, of course, Set 4 has been out now for, a couple weeks now, and it's been really, really fun. A lot of people are enjoying it. A lot of people seem to like the balance of the set in general. I don't think anyone's really high-rolled anything ridiculous yet, but the possibility exists, and I am still in search of that high-rolled Aloyan deck with like the perfect 10 cards. I think that half deck would be incredible, especially for Aloyan. But there's not much new within the client itself. I did want to touch, though, on some bugs that were happening. I don't remember if I touched on it last week or not. I don't remember when it happened. I think it might have happened after I made my videos. So a lot of people had lost a ton of points last week when they pushed out the update to include the new Forgeborns for various achievements for PvP, PvE play, campaign, things of that nature. And it's only for the 3 new ones, not the Blighted, Circe, or Sunder. They count as regular Circe and Sunder to the best of our knowledge so far, as far as what we've learned through testing to see those numbers update that way. So if you lost a ton of points, you were higher and then it went lower, the problem is it reset your Embers value back to the 100 base, the first amount you can earn for spending 100 Embers or whatever it is, getting 100 points. The way to fix it is, one, you could wait for SB to do a fix. Don't know if that's coming, don't know where that stands. I feel like they know about it, but I haven't heard anything communicated as far as they're working on it. The fix, though, that you can do is spend some more Embers. So if you just go to the shop, no matter what you spend on, as long as you spend the Embers, it will re-update your total to the proper amount. This will get you back where you were. It was nice for a couple of days seeing myself be in the top 10 again after all these players lost all of their Ember points. It's almost going to be impossible for me to catch them. I'd have to spend another $1,000 in Embers just to catch up to them. So not going to happen. I'm not buying that much Set 4 digitally. Physically, I'll happily spend that. So, so I'm pretty sure the top 10 players have all fixed their scores. But if you are not in the top 10, but you think your points went down, you can buy a 5 Ember potion, and it should fix your numbers if it did go down. Or wait for SB to put the fix out, or pester them until they do. There are other achievements still not working, so defeating Reclusa and Scorchworm with every Forgeborn is not completing out. So this is roughly 6,000 points that will come to people who have completed both of them with all the Forgeborns. Every other Forgeborn does count. Some of them have been coming in slow, so it might take more than an hour for it to show up. Not sure the reason why that is, but I know I waited about an hour and a half before my Tyran finally came in. I signed off, and the next morning it was there. So I'm unaware of anything else not working. I feel like there is something else not working. Let me pull up something we're going to touch on. There is something else not working, I feel like. Oh, the Rarity 90, 95, and 99 decks is still not working. I've reported the fix to them. Do not know when that's going to happen. We do not know if it's going to backdate for people. There's also rumor of they're going to be fixing the rarity scores on decks, as it's been shown that certain things are not counting. So there might be a push for that, and then they'll fix that and backdate. I have no idea what their capabilities are in that regard. The hope is they can backdate because people opened a lot of packs for set 4, and some people even before then with some sales they had for set 3 or 2, they purchased a lot of decks. So the hope is that they will get that all corrected. So that's pretty much everything for the client. I don't recall anything else. There are some new daily quests that you can get. Like you can see here, win 1 game with Tundra. So there is that. Those are new. There's some, play 10 Darkforge creatures or cards or something of that nature. So they got those in there as well, so you can get more of a variety. Otherwise, everything else in the client, I believe, is the same. Yeah, pretty sure that's all. So let's switch to... We'll touch on this first because this should be a solo thing. On Discord, we now have a reverse marketplace. This is on the SolForge server. A link to their server to join it will be in my video description. It's almost always there, along with the SolForge Fusion Europe server, the SBE server, and the SBE official online event server. So all those links are always there in my videos. So feel free to join all 4 of those Discords if you're not part of any of them. I highly recommend, at a bare minimum, join all 4. They're really, you need to join all 4. There's stuff in all of them for everyone. But in the SolForge server, they have what they're calling the reverse marketplace now. So when you join the server, there's channels and roles. You can click on what you want, and then it'll give you access to various channels. So within that, instead of waiting for someone to put up a marketplace of decks for you to go sort through and buy, which is still happening, you can go in here and request for specific decks that someone might have, and they'll post. I'm trying to find one that's been completed. So you can see here, done deal. So it looks like Mr. Huat found a Betrayer Soltar from somebody, completed the transaction, and they're good to go. I feel like there's a few other that have been completed. I don't know for sure if they've been tagged. And down here, done deal. So people are finding decks that they're looking for, whether they're physical. For set 4 stuff, it's all digital right now, but for other sets, it could be physical. You can tag whether you want physical, which set you want, etc. So, obviously if it's digital, you're going to have to mint it, and then you can trade it through that. But tons here. This is really growing. Honestly, when it started out, it was just a handful of threads, and it was easy to go through, and I checked my collection for all these and posted my decks up. One of my decks kind of got some interest, but no one followed through with it, so I assume they didn't want it. But I have not. You can see all the white ones. I have not gone through all of these in a bit here. It's just a lot, and any of the digital stuff, I'm not necessarily looking to mint stuff and trade it off yet. I don't know. I'll deal with that when that comes. I don't even know if I have a Betrayer River of Souls, for example, and I've got quite a few decks. So, yeah, if you're looking for a deck, you can come here and post. If you're looking to maybe trade or interested in possibly moving a deck, it's all right here in the SolForge server. Again, the link will be in my video description. So, definitely check that out. Let's see here. Next up, we'll go to Chrome, and we're actually going to go to events first. We'll hit the collection manager afterwards. So events for the rest of the month here, we have Wednesday coming up. We have the Upside Down. Brandon hosts that. I think he moved it to be an hour later because of the time change in the U.S., so I think it starts at like 2 p.m. Eastern, which is 1 Central, which is what it says here. He's trying to make a European-friendly time for an event for European players, also for people in the U.S. who are off during the day, or early risers in Australia. So That's always a fun event. He always gets a handful of people for that at a minimum, so feel free to sign up. I feel like he gave away a deck last week. Let's see if he's got it posted here, if he's giving away a deck or not. Yep. Top 2 players receive Renown, and 1 random player will receive a free digital deck code. I do not know if it's set 4. Oh, the winner gets a set 4 deck code, and the random one will be a set 3 deck code. So, you can get deck codes. Only a handful of people typically sign up. You know, even if there's 10 people, that's 1 in 10 chance. So, if you are available and looking for some constructed, go ahead and sign up and play. Then on Friday night in the U.S., Saturday morning in Australia, there is a constructed bronze event in prep for Saturday's event of the second qualifier for the Shadows over Souls Championship Series. Or maybe it's just the Championship Series. I don't think it was called the Shadows over Souls. Maybe it was. I don't know. I'd have to look at the first one. But so in this event on Saturday, the big event, the SB event, there's roughly $1,500 worth of prizes available for winners, top 8 players essentially. And then all the top 8 get their decks silvered. Top 2 get them made to gold. And this is all in prep for May's Championship. There will be a 3rd qualifier in April. But May's Championship will... you have to have a gold or silver deck. So if you do not, this is a great opportunity to get a deck leveled up to that. Otherwise, you can participate in bronze events such as Wednesdays or Fridays in the U.S. And you can, if you win or get first or second place in either of them, your deck earns renown. I think I have a video on the renown system, how it works, what you need to do to get your decks from bronze to silver. And then I wonder, I mean to click that, but that's okay. When you're clicking events, by the way, if you click an event like I just did, you can see the double browser thing here. It's a bug on their website, and it causes all sorts of issues. You don't see the link to the event. I'm unsure where it would say it. I'd have to find. Maybe let me look at a past event here. Go to my events. So there is a thing. There it is. So if the event says casual event, like you see there, then you will not earn renown on decks. Your decks don't even go from unranked to bronze in that instance. That's something I did not cover in my video, but maybe when they update the system will be better with that. So you want to see this bronze event, which the current events all say bronze. So if you win 2 events, or is it 3? 2 events, and I think if you place in 3 events, no matter what, if you get 3 second places, your deck will go to silver. If you get 2 first places, I think it goes off. I can't remember. It's so infrequent that I level up a deck quickly or anything. So I should go back and watch the video. You can too. But nonetheless, you participate in these bronze events. You do 3 of them, place top 2 in 3 of them. Your deck's gonna become silver, and then you'll have a deck for the championship in May. Or participate in this event on Saturday or in April. I think it's the 26th of April and the 24th of May is the championship. Top 8 in either one of the qualifiers, and your deck instantly goes to silver or gold. So make sure you sign up if you're free. These are great opportunities. Lots of prizes to be had. I expect to see a lot of set 4 decks. I expect to see a lot of shenanigans with people going into that. So it's going to be interesting. I'll be taking lots of notes for that. I'll be streaming my matches and recording them. I will definitely be, when I'm not playing or not playing against somebody, I'll be trying to watch other people's streams to see what other decks are out there, what people are playing. So that's definitely going to be a fun one. So that's upcoming events covering that. Next month's are not listed yet. Normally, beginning of the month for SolForge, Bryce will go through and post them all up. So I don't think they've drawn for what's going to be happening each week. They do normally a limited event and then a couple constructed back-to-backers twice a month. So this month he decided, I think just at the end of the month, instead of doing a limited and constructed, just doing the constructed. So So yeah, there'll be more coming up in this week. I'm sure some stuff will start getting posted for next month for all the series that are going on there. Going on right now is they have the monthly league going on. I think Gorman is running that, and I'm sure he'll have one posted up for April sometime, probably by this weekend. So anyhow, that's the events. Close out of that. Yeah, we'll talk about these real quick. So it's the end, basically, of the first quarter of the year. And so there's been a Saturday Sealed Showdown every weekend where there hasn't been an SBE event this entire year, ran by Gorgeous. He's been gracious enough to give us his time to run these events, coordinate with everything, deal with all the BS and the bugs. So we appreciate that. You can see the standings here of each match. He's got them all posted up. He does not have the last event posted and updated. He has not updated that yet, but it was the last one this past weekend. He might not have the last two posted up. I don't think that was the 15th. No, it was the 22nd. So he doesn't have the past couple posted up, but I think he's going to do top 16. So that's from rate us up currently in the standings, but that's going to change based on the last two weekends of results. Or maybe that was pre-release weekend and he didn't have one. So nonetheless, he might just have one more to do, post up on here. But top 16, I think, is what he's going with. And the rule that he had initially was you have to use a deck you used in one of these events that you participated in. So I'm gonna have to go back and figure out what I used, what I did well with. I have a few. I did stronger towards the end here, so either one of my set 4 decks or I had a pretty good deck in February, I think, in one of the events. But I'll find them, figure them out, and then people are gonna play whatever deck they had that they choose. And I think it'll just be a 1-day event and do the 4 rounds or whatever it is, and then a top cut maybe. We'll see. I don't know his exact plans, but that's the leaderboard. He's got to update it yet, but then he's going to have his qualifier, and then I'm guessing he'll kick off maybe next quarter's Saturday Sealed Showdown. We'll see if that continues or how he feels about it. I don't know, but we'll keep an eye out for more news on that. Then we have SolForge first quarter coming to an end as well, and they do a quarterly invitational. And from best I can recall, it's been the top 10. So they had I'm trying to think, October they had one, kind of, and then they had another one at the end of December, maybe, or January. Took place in January, maybe. I'm not positive. I didn't make the cut for the last one. I kind of made it in the first one. Maybe they were testing it out then. I don't remember. I didn't win that either. So this one, though, top 10 would be these players. I don't know if it's fully updated or not. We do have one more event to go, which is the constructed event. That counts. So if people are close and they want to get in, make sure you sign up and play. A few extra points could bump you up into the top 10 to get you into the invitational. And of course, in the invitational, There's typically, I can't speak for sure how it's going to work, but typically they've tried to have like a door prize for everybody, and then the top 4, 2, or winner, they get extra stuff or something. So, but typically there's prizes with these things, and it's a constructed format, so you can bring whatever deck you want, and yeah, quite fun. So I'll be able to participate in this one, hopefully, as long as I'm in town. And then, so that's everything to do with events and what's coming with events. Now, I want to touch on the collection manager. So with set 4, there's been some changes obviously coming. They've updated it to have the set 4 creatures. They've done a whole ton of stuff with the collection manager, and they even added in something that I helped make. So as always, the collection manager hub will have you take you to the latest version. I'm expecting another version to come out soon. I thought there was. Maybe this was it, and I just didn't realize it. But maybe they're trying to fix a couple things. I don't know where it exactly stands, but right now, this is the latest one. So I'll take you right to mine. So obviously, regular collection manager. I've got all my extra stuff in here, don't worry. So one of the new things that was added is the poll seasonal achievement progress. So you put in your name, your username, just like you would for pulling your collection, and it's going to pull up your seasonal achievement progress. It's set to highlight everything green that you've completed. It's going to show you what your count is, if it's something like games or wins, as you can see here, how many points are possible. You can see, for example, Ember spent. I've spent 7,780, and I've gotten 12,000 points. Excuse me. It shows you some additional information up here. Shows your display name, so you know it's you, your player elo, how many embers you have currently, your gold currently. It shows you how many Season 1 points you've earned based on what shows in the game. It shows your, right now it's Season 1 PvP win percentage, so you can see how you've been doing in your PvP matches if you like, and how many event tickets you have, just as a reference. And then we get into the achievements. You have your event achievements, so the winning, top 4, and top 8. However, you have to play specifically. If you win it, you only get the win. You're not getting top 4 and top 8 for some reason. It could just be a bug. They're manually entering this, so maybe it's something they can fix. I feel like if you win it, you should get all 3. I don't know what happens if you get multiple, if it's going to double up the points or not. No idea. We haven't had that yet. Purchase-based, obviously. Purchase decks with SFG and Ember spent. And I'm not going to read all the achievements to you, but you can see PvP and PvE achievements. Then you've got Reclusa and Scorchroom campaign achievements. You can see the ones that are bugged right there. Play-based and collection-based achievements. You can see those. We have Web 3-based achievements and then community-based achievements. These ones will be manually entered probably at the end of the season. There is a link. I don't know it offhand. I don't even know if I have it bookmarked. I probably should. To submit the information for this if you're running tournaments, if you're streaming, if you're making videos, or if you're recruiting players, which I don't really think is implemented yet, but we do have a friend code now, which you can see. That's what I do need to do. Let's do this real quick. While I pull this open. So, alrighty. Go past Let's go to this one. Okay, so I've got an event code. So another feature that was added is analyze tournaments. So you can enter as many tournaments or events as you like, as long, however many codes you have. You just need to put a comma and put the next one in. I'm just going to run one for now, but it'll analyze and take all the data from all the ones you've posted in there, and it'll give you a bunch of information regarding that. So it's still running. You can see running script still going, even though the screen popped up with a new tab. It's going to bring up one tab per event with an event data tab and a player data tab. It's going kind of slow, though. I haven't run it in a while, so I wonder if something's broke with it. This is taking really long, but some things have taken really long lately with pulling data from SBE's site. Even just loading like the leaderboard on the website's been slow sometimes. So I'll just talk about what it is showing for now until that last tab pops up. Basically, it's going to show you who participated in the event. It's going to give you their friend code, which is really more for future use. When they implement that system, you'll have a reference here to be able to add people directly into your client, etc. It's going to show you the faction they played, and it's got deck links for each half of their deck. It's also got the fused deck link if you want to see that. It tells you which of their Forgeborns was the primary, which one is the secondary. Then it's going to give you basically the standings, how many Swiss points they got. You get 3 points for a win. It's going to give you the opponent match win percentage, their match record, their overall record, and who they played. And then it's not pulling the event data. It's slow. This is interesting. I did not test it before because I've run it plenty of times before. Interesting. Well, we'll try it again. It's a poor showing. We have to see why it's taking so long. So when you rerun it, it deletes out the old sheets and we'll bring in new ones. Now this one's going slow. So their website must be having some issues. Or the whatever Google, the API is running slow. Not sure. I've pulled like 15 events at once and it's worked fine. It could be related to the collection manager. That's one issue. The slowness of things. That is something that they are looking at. So can't really show you this feature at the moment. It's running too slow. We're going to cancel it. Delete that sheet. So there's a new setup tab where it says wait for sheet to finish loading before and between making any additional feature selections. Loading bar top right. So you'd see a blue. So if these are unchecked, these are not enabled, it's meant to speed up some of the loading of the collection manager. If you need to use a function, you can check it on and it'll enable it, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to go through that just because it's already running slow. But that's where you enable these features. They are currently disabled until you enable them. It's meant to speed up the process. Everything else, I think, is more or less the same. I know there's been some changes to some of the features of the collection manager that were already existing. So I'm not going to go through those changes at this time. I just wanted to kind of touch on, there's a new collection manager out and the new features that I helped bring to the collection manager. There are some other features I'm working on. Hopefully they will get implemented in a future edition of collection manager. Don't know how useful they'll be. We'll see. But I will touch on them just briefly. So if you're not familiar with SolForgeFusionDecks.com, I highly, highly recommend you go there, make an account. Making an account is free. And what it will do is it will pull in your collection and it will show you your deck scores, top 3 per faction. And then you can take a deck name in your account and get the score of that deck. So you can do that. If you want to be able to export all of your decks and data to a CSV, you can do that with SFG, an SFG donation, or use PayPal, and then make sure, at least on the PayPal, I haven't done the SFG, so I don't know how that looks, but the PayPal, you can put it in their note, put your account name so they know, and they'll unlock the feature for your account. On the home page, everyone, even if you don't have an account, you can see the top 3 ranked decks for each faction of all the people who've signed up for the site. So you'd be able to add to that, and you'll get your own collection information here. And it has plenty of good information. You may be looking like, oh, I didn't know I had this deck. I didn't know this was so good. Whatever it might be. I'm seeing one here now. I don't remember that being there. I'll have to take a look at what that is there. I know I've got only a couple Ogums, and I have never used one. So I'll be curious to see what that is. He just recently updated for set 4 his scores, and I think he's still compiling data to make another adjustment. So whenever that happens, that'll happen. Also, I think anyone can see this. I'm not positive. But if you click on this forge, it takes you to the scrap forge. And these are decks that were in someone's account as a phantom and they expired. Because decks are now, phantoms are being taken out of our accounts, his system pulls everyone's deck data every day. So then he has to scan through the decks for all the phantoms, and then once they're gone from people's accounts, and they're not in someone's account, then he'll know that they expired, or he may do it by the date if they're still in the account even, and he goes through and you can see the scores of decks that people let expire. This one's a shame. This Necrium one. There's no deck links for these. So what he has is, because they've been deleted from the entire database completely, you can't even go look at them on the website. So he has this built in where you can see all the cards it had, which is pretty neat. He's got the information. Wow, Betrayer Gox. Wow. Nice. But you can see the decks people have let go. And obviously Necrium there has some really good ones. Utera, Forge Seal, Mantis decks that people let go. So you just never know what other people are letting go. Betrayer Darkheart. Nice. Sometimes people just don't know what they have until it's pointed out to them. But this will give you a better idea of what the top decks are ranked. It'll give you a bunch of information on why they're ranked that high potentially. and you can see your decks and what might be good. So highly recommend coming here and signing up. The reason I mention this site is because if you sign up for this site, and if this feature makes it to the collection manager, you just might be able to pull your own decks and the top decks into the collection manager just to have to see. So because the information is just open and out there for the top decks, I've put links to the decks just like you see on the website. You can see the in-game display name of the person whose deck it is, their friend code for future use. You can see the deck ELO if they've played with it. Basically all the same information you get from the website, laid out just differently. I've added in, instead of having to go to the website to see the deck rarity score. Deck rarity score means nothing, but if it's a thing for you, you can see it here. I've actually got it broken out into 2 decimal places. Website just takes it to the whole number. And then if they've played with it, I've got its deck record, so you can see what kind of results they're getting with that deck. So just a little interesting data to me. I've obviously pulled my information. I've pulled my son's information. I've got accounts for both of them. So I mostly wanted to see the deck record of those decks, and I'm like, I haven't played with hardly any of these, surprisingly. And I haven't played much with some of these. I was surprised there's a deck, an Aloyan deck I have that's basically a mirror to this top deck, but its quality score is next to nothing or something. So it puts it outside the top 3, which I was surprised, and I've got a ton of matches with it. I could probably still write a script to get the record of it, but individually, but nonetheless, so it's a potential feature that could be coming. I thought it was neat. I love the deck record thing for it to see how decks are working in matches. This is only tracking matches you do in sanctioned events. I should clarify that too. So it's not going to be your random queue matches or anything of that nature. But the biggest thing, though, the achievement progress, you can see kind of easily the more you've done anyway. If they're a bunch of green, you can see just what you need to get done. How far off are you? I feel like it's a lot easier to see it here than it is in client. I want to try one more time with this tool. Really slow. Okay, so it's got the data this time. Let's see if it pulls the event data and the player data. If it doesn't, then I won't go too long with it. But the event data is basically going to break down, showing you faction pairs and counts. So you're going to see how many Tempest Necrium decks, how many Utera Necrium, how many Alolan Utera, etc. there are. And if you do a bunch of events combined, if you do, say, 4 or 5 events, you can really get some good data. So, like, you could do all of the set 4 sealed events that have gone on since pre-release, counting the pre-release one, and get a good count of what faction pairs are being played the most, which ones are winning the most. So, just a good... Still not going. It's just a good little thing to give some data points for people to see. And then the player data, it's more useful when you have multiple events, but you can see how someone is doing over a series of events. So I could plug in, for example, all of the Saturday Sealed Showdown events and pull in and see who's doing really well. Granted, you can see how many points they've earned to see who's doing well, but now you can see, it'll show you their record with various sets. I don't think I have it showing what factions they play the most. I'm not positive on that. I don't know if I made that change or not. But it's not working right now. I'm going to have to dig in and find out, see if there's something broken with the code, if something changed with the events. I'll have to find out what that exception is. But that's all I pretty much wanted to touch on, was all of those updates. The collection manager update. They've been pumping out, I think they've done at least 200 decks on Magic Eden for set 4 if you're looking to get a deck with Sol. So they have them on there. I don't know how many are left. I don't buy from there. So they were, I think, priced at $30 each is what I think I heard. So if you're looking for some set 4 decks and want to spend some Sol to get some, they have them on Magic Eden. And I don't know when they'll pump out more, if it's at a certain rate or if it's when the decks get low enough. Not sure on how that works for that, but that's another thing that's been happening. But otherwise, yeah, that's basically the update I've got for everything I could really think of in the community. I apologize if I left something out, but I'll try to catch it next time. So I want to thank you for watching and spending the time. I always appreciate it. If you like the video, subscribe or comment, feel free. I'd appreciate it. So have a good one. Take care. See you guys around. This has been an episode of Rallying the Forge. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.